Imagine walking through your front door tonight and feeling your shoulders drop. The kitchen counter is already clear. Your keys sit exactly where you left them this morning. The shoes at the entrance are neatly tucked away. The dining table holds nothing but a warm cup of tea, and your mind is free of that familiar reminder about the weekend cleaning. Millions of people across Japan walk into that feeling every evening. But here is what might surprise you. It has almost nothing to do with how much they clean. I have lived in Kyoto for 50 years, and the calmest homes I have stepped inside do not belong to people who clean more than anyone else. They belong to people who have built small habits so deeply into their daily rhythm that mess never forms in the first place. Today, I want to walk you through 7 of those habits. In a quiet kitchen in central Tokyo, an elderly woman finishes her morning rice. She lifts her ceramic bowl, carries it to the sink, and rinses it under the tap in about 20 seconds. She does not set it on the counter to deal with later. One touch, bowl to sink to drying rack. Done. We call this the principle of touching something only once. You use an item, you return it to its proper shelf or drawer, and the task is complete. Use, return, move on. Now picture what happens in most homes around the world. You walk through the front door after a long commute, and your leather bag lands on the living room sofa. Your keys end up somewhere on the dining table. Your water bottle winds up on the bedroom nightstand, and the thought is always the same. I will put it away later. But that single thought, repeated dozens of times a day, is exactly how clutter takes root. Each later is a pending task you hand to your future self. Psychologists call the result decision fatigue. Every misplaced jacket or stray remote, your eyes land on triggers a small mental negotiation, and that negotiation drains your energy whether you notice it or not. Japanese households skip this trap entirely. The journey of every object follows the same short path. Use it, return it, move on. Decide tonight that your house keys will always live in the same ceramic tray by the front door. Your coffee mug will never spend the night on the kitchen table, and your jacket will reach the hallway closet before you sit down. After 2 weeks, something shifts quietly. Your mind feels lighter before the house even looks different. Putting things back is one side of the equation, but the other side matters just as much. What if the mess from outside never crosses your doorstep in the first place? If you have ever stepped inside a traditional Japanese home in a neighborhood like Higashiyama, you probably noticed a small lowered area at the entrance. This space is called the genkan. At first glance, it looks like simple wooden shoe storage with a raised step into the house. But in Japanese culture, the genkan carries far more meaning than that. Imagine a salaryman returning to his apartment in Osaka after a day of packed commuter trains, endless meetings, and phone notifications buzzing through the afternoon. He reaches his front door, and the first thing he does is step into the genkan and slip off his shoes. Part of this is practical. Street dust and city grime stop right there at the entrance, which is why Japanese hardwood floors stay naturally clean. But the genkan serves a deeper purpose that most visitors miss. It is a psychological threshold, a quiet signal to your nervous system that says the noise of the outside world is done for today. You are home. Even without the traditional genkan, you can build that boundary yourself. A wooden shoe rack near the front door, a clean doormat, a pair of indoor slippers on the other side, and one simple rule that outdoor shoes never travel past the entrance hallway. This small ritual does more than cut the dirt tracked through your home. It gives you a mindful pause every evening, and that 1-minute pause at the doorway can quietly reshape the mood of your entire night. So we put things back and we keep outside dirt at the door. But Japanese homes go one step further. They make sure only the things that truly belong in daily life stay inside those walls. How many old phone chargers sit in your kitchen drawer right now that fit nothing you own? How many plastic containers have lost their lids? How many coffee mugs live in the back of the cupboard that nobody ever reaches for? We all know the familiar line, "Keep it, it might come in handy someday." In Japan, a word reframes this entire relationship with household objects. The word is mottainai. It roughly translates to never letting the true value of something go to waste. But notice what this does not mean. It does not mean holding on to every possession forever. It means that when an object has finished its purpose in your life, letting it go with genuine gratitude is itself a form of respect. In Japanese homes, every object faces a simple question: are you part of my life today? If yes, that item is cared for and given a worthy spot on the shelf. If no, it is passed to someone who needs it, recycled, or released with a quiet thank you. This is why Japanese minimalism never feels cold or sterile. There is warmth underneath it. Every remaining item earned its place. Try one small experiment tonight. Open a single drawer in your kitchen and ask each object that question. Clearing one cluttered drawer often loosens something in your mind as well. Even when we own only what matters and put everything back after using it, one trap still catches almost everyone. We turn cleaning into a massive weekend project. And the Japanese approach to this might be the most practical habit of all 7. We tend to treat cleaning like a calendar event. Sunday morning arrives and the house gets turned upside down. Sweep the hardwood floors, mop the kitchen tile, scrub the bathroom mirror, wipe the counters, reorganize the wardrobe. By evening, the exhaustion runs so deep that doing it again next weekend feels unbearable. In Japan, the approach runs in the complete opposite direction. Cleaning is not a scheduled event. It is a rhythm that moves quietly underneath everything else you do. Breakfast is finished at the kitchen table. You wipe the wooden surface with a cotton cloth. 20 seconds. You pour coffee from the ceramic pot and rinse your cup the moment you take the last sip. 10 seconds. You step out of the bathroom and run a small squeegee across the foggy mirror. 15 seconds. Water splashes on the granite kitchen counter and you swipe it with a dry towel before it leaves a ring. 5 seconds. Each moment feels like nothing. But this is what makes the approach so effective. It works exactly like compound interest. Tiny deposits of effort throughout the day that stack up and eliminate those exhausting weekend deep cleans entirely. Your home never reaches the point where it needs a major cleanup because mess never has time to build on any surface. And the part that matters most is this. Micro-cleaning does not rely on motivation or willpower. It weaves into your morning coffee routine and your evening wind down until it becomes as automatic as locking the front door. That is why many people in Japan will tell you that cleaning is not something you do. It is something you live. With micro-cleaning running in the background, you would think every home should stay orderly. But one question still trips people up. If surfaces get wiped and items get returned to their spots, why do some homes still feel scattered? The answer is simpler than you might think. How many minutes did you spend this morning searching for something? Your car keys, your wallet, your child's school backpack, the television remote that migrated overnight from the sofa to underneath the bed cushions. Those items were never lost. They simply had no permanent address in your home. In Japan, a clear principle governs household storage. If an object does not have its own fixed place, it will make the entire house its place. Step inside a small apartment in Kyoto, and you will find that every item, from bamboo chopsticks to folding umbrellas to spare batteries, lives in one assigned spot that never changes. Nobody decides each evening where things belong. That decision was made once and never needs revisiting. Japanese storage is not about buying more wooden shelves or bigger closets. It is about giving every object a permanent identity in your home, a fixed answer to the question, where does this live? Once that answer exists, putting things away becomes automatic, like muscle memory. Choose one category tonight, maybe kitchen utensils or bathroom supplies, and assign every item a fixed position. That single decision saves more daily minutes than any plastic organizer you could order. There is one more physical habit that transforms how a space feels, and it has nothing to do with ownership or cleaning frequency. It is about where you place things and where you leave space open. When storage runs low, the instinct in most homes is to add furniture. Another shelf unit against the bedroom wall, a shoe cabinet beside the front door, a side table next to the sofa. But in Japan, where apartments in Tokyo and Osaka can be remarkably compact, the thinking runs opposite. Instead of filling the floor, people use the walls. Walk into a Japanese kitchen and you will spot metal hooks along tile walls holding wooden utensils, magnetic strips keeping knives within reach, and hanging baskets storing produce above the counter. Open a Japanese wardrobe and you will see vertical organizers hanging from the rod instead of clothes piled on shelves. The tatami floor below stays clear. Once the floor opens up, even a small 6 tatami room feels nearly twice its size. Your eyes travel across unbroken floor space, and your brain registers the room as calm rather than cramped. We tend to feel the opposite pull. An empty living room corner calls out for a plant stand. A bare shelf seems to need a row of figurines, but Japanese interior design suggests the opposite. Sometimes the empty space itself is what allows a home to breathe. That thought leads us to the deepest idea in Japanese home philosophy, one that reaches far beyond kitchen counters and closet doors into how we live our entire lives. There is a concept in Japan called ma. The closest translation is the beauty of empty space, or the value of what is intentionally left unfilled. Think about the silence between two notes in a piece of koto music. Without that silence, the notes would blur into noise. The deliberate pause gives each note its meaning. Ma works the same way inside a home. A clean cedar shelf with a single handmade ceramic vase on it is not bare. It is complete. The open space around that vase is what allows you to actually see it, appreciate the glaze, and feel calm in its presence. But here is the thought that changed my perspective after 5 decades in Kyoto. Ma does not only belong in living rooms. We fill our calendars with back-to-back meetings until there is no room to breathe between them. We fill our phone galleries with thousands of photos we never revisit. We fill our minds with worries and plans and mental checklists on repeat. But we still wonder why everything feels so heavy. Maybe the answer is not to organize more efficiently. Maybe it is simply to leave a little more empty. When people first hear about Japanese minimalism, they assume it means throwing everything into garbage bags and living in a stark white room. That misses the idea completely. The homes I admire most in Kyoto are not empty. They are intentional. Every object and every open space is there for a reason. It means making deliberate space for the things that genuinely matter. And sometimes the most valuable thing you can place in a room, or in an afternoon, or in the quiet of your mind is nothing at all. A clean and ordered home is not about impressing anyone who walks through the front door. The real purpose is something far quieter. It is creating a space where the moment you walk in after a long day, the weight of everything outside simply lifts off your shoulders. Where coming home finally feels like arriving somewhere peaceful. So which of these 7 habits will you try first tonight? If this kind of thoughtful, simple approach to daily life speaks to you, there is much more to explore ahead. We will meet again soon.